What up? What up? What up? Live. Gonna wait a couple of um, seconds so we can get some viewers going. Wait for Jen to hop on. Do 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 live, live, live. And we're live. What's going on, guys? Happy Sunday. Remember, like, share, love. If you're watching live, let us know you're watching live. If you're watching a replay, let us know you're watching a replay. Wherever you're from. And Jen's on. What up, Jen?
Hello, everyone.
How are you?
I am doing spectacular. It's been a fun week. I've been in Dallas all week, which has been a blast, and just had an exciting weekend playing a big softball tournament. So more to come on that. But just want to say thank you guys for joining us. And the Holistic Life with J&J has just reached 200 likes. So we want to thank you guys. So please keep sharing, liking, and commenting so we can continue to grow this and kill it. That's really the fun. Jay, where'd you go? I'm just talking to the.
It's set up on the computer, too.
Oh, cool. All right. So if you were not on last week's live, we talked about why balance is whack. And this was a really powerful conversation. We had a lot of great dialogue. And actually, this is one of Jay's favorite topics. So, Jay, give us a quick rundown on the recap.
Basically, really, really quick, balance is whack because there's no true thing as balance. There's always a shift of energy. You're always pulled in a direction at any given time. So it's about mastering, being aware of when you shift that energy to those different areas, such as work life, social, family, whatever. So balance is whack, counterbalance. You know, one of our viewers said last week, Nikki said, it's not about perfection, it's about progression. So um, life is always changing. Once you think you have everything together, there's always something else that's going to move you or pull you in another direction, you know? So for more details, make sure you check the replay in that
And go
video.
watch it. Go watch it. So as we come in, this week's um, show is all about healthy living on the go, which is perfect because I'm at the airport right now. So it fits
Then
right in.
this.
It cut out. What'd you say?
I said you're a freaking pro at this.
Oh, you know what? I've become uh, really savvy in my days. So we're going to be sharing some of that. So if you have a hectic schedule, you're traveling in and out and around town, you're maybe busy with work, you're trying to figure out how to pick off. Thanks, Shikendra. She said take off my earring. It's making some noise. You're trying to pick healthy foods on the menu. That's what we're going to get into today. So before we do that, we have a really exciting thing is that we actually have an event we're launching.
My
Thanks, Bruce. And then Jay's dropping his camera.
camera's over here
This
doing
is fun.
flips.
This is fun. Does it sound better now, guys? And Jay's fixing the camera. So, oh my God, Jay. So anyway, so we have an event we're launching next week. We're really excited about it. For now, it's called the Healthy and Happy event, which really we're gonna help you stick to your goals, have more energy, reduce inflammation, get your gut working for you a little bit better. So we are just gonna put something together to help hold you accountable and help you rock out for, to get ready for the summer, whatever it is that you got going on. So we are super excited. So we'll launch more details about that next week. But, a little teaser, you guys have seen a couple of posts. We actually are in the process of doing a healthy reboot ourselves. And so I just finished a 10-day athletic healthy reboot, which I finished on Thursday, which was perfect timing going into the weekend for softball. I played a highly competitive softball tournament in Dallas, and it was an absolute blast. we actually had a debut team, first time playing together, but definitely not first time on the field. And we went out, we took third place, which was freaking amazing. And I felt awesome, like running around on the field. I had energy. I was able to move around. I was agile. I was light. I was feeling really healthy. So it was an absolute blast. And it was so amazing to take third place. So Jay has actually been working on his transformation. So Jay, if you pop your head back up without knocking over the camera, where are
And
you at in your process?
I'm a weekend. I have 3 days left. Wednesday will be my last day. But I actually go into details of that in our group. So if you want the skinny, you got to join the group. Sorry.
Healthy Philosophies is the name of the group. You've seen us post about it, so we give you a little bit more dirt, details, and fun in there. So, and Monique, you made it, Oakland Airport. So Monique and I are both in airports, which is amazing. Is anybody else in an airport right now watching? That would be super fun. All right, so let's get into the show. Um, Really, when you're talking about living healthy on the go, there's so many tips. Jake and I, met earlier this morning to discuss like how we really wanted to bring this information to you, because literally we could probably name off 150 different tips to help you have healthy lifestyle on the go while you're busy. How do you fit it in? However, one of the things that's going to be key to any healthy lifestyle on the go is going to be your mindset about how you are going to, like, what are your end goals? What is it you're working towards? Are you trying to get a bikini body? Are you trying to get a six pack? Are you just trying to feel better in your jeans? Do you want more energy? Like, what is your end goal? And another thing with the mindset is, where are you in your journey? Are you at the beginning part of your journey, or have you been doing this a while? Jay and I have been on this journey quite some time. So there's some things that we have mastered and still are mastering. So if you see us, or if we talk about something that isn't there for you yet, just honor where you are in the journey. And Jay, I know this is a big thing for you.
And I mean, I want to say too, and I mean, like we said earlier, it's all about progression. So um, for me, it's like my background is fitness, and fitness people usually you see somebody who's ripped, jacked, whatever you want to say, who is always in the gym, who's at a class. You think they live a certain way. You think that they can't have fun. They don't drink. They eat rabbit food all the time. But we have the same struggles that you guys have. Like, I'm not gonna give up chocolate. I'm sorry. So if you
You shouldn't have
if
to.
you yeah, and exactly that was going to be my next statement. It's not about having to give up those things or restrict them. It's about enjoying your life and being healthy on your terms. So people say, um, oh, healthy means I have to give up alcohol, or no, that's not what it means. Now, depending on, like Ben said, where you want to go in your journey, what your end goal is, you know, um, you might have to be a little stricter in some areas. Like if you want to get down to like 6, 7, 8% body fat, there's yeah, you're gonna have to be strict for something like
Well,
that.
there's a whole different set of behaviors.
Right.
I mean, it's like your behaviors are going to help you get to that end goal, but it's also a matter of aligning. If you do want to get down to that six pack, or you do, and and you still want to eat Oreos every day, and you still want to drink 4 times a week. I mean, it's not going to
Or
happen for you.
I,
Like, there's a certain lifestyle you have to live to hit certain goals.
I think eating Oreos every day is a little extreme.
It is, but I was just trying to, give um, a little flex in there. I do have a question. If you guys don't mind, let me know. On my end, Jay's screen is frozen. Is it something that I'm seeing, or is everybody seeing Jay's screen frozen?
Is it frozen?
It is on my end, but maybe it's just because I'm on airport Wi-Fi. Give everybody a second to answer.
Well, they can, as long as they can still hear me, we're good.
Frozen. Carrie says frozen. So
Is it like a screwed up fit? Can you hear me?
I can still hear you, and they can still hear you.
Yeah. As long as I don't, I mean, if I have like a crazy like frozen face,
Well, it's all right. but I like seeing your movement. So maybe, Jay, if you don't mind to maybe like pop off Wi-Fi and maybe pop back on, see if that helps. But they can still hear you. All right, so we'll keep go back into the mindset. So I was saying it's like where you're at in your journey. You know, you have to be realistic about what your goals are. So for me, where I'm at in my journey right now is a lot of what I'm doing. My goals are to be better on that softball field. Right now, I'm so excited to be playing at the highest level. So to be able to be playing at the highest level, I want to be out there and I want to be able to go chase down the fly balls. I want to be able to run faster on the bases. I want to feel better. I want to be able to last and have endurance. I mean, yesterday we played 5 games in a row, like legit, through the losers bracket, 5 games in a row. And if I hadn't been doing this athletic transformation and running and doing the things I've been doing, I would have been toast out there. So just keep that in mind for where what your end goal is and where you're at in the journey. So here's another thing with where you're at in the journey is for me, there are foods that I really find delicious and I am more drawn to, vegan type meals. And um, that may be really overwhelming for someone where if you're at the beginning part of your journey, if I go back 10 years, the beginning part of my journey was about the foods I was eating weren't necessarily the best, but I didn't know any better. So you have to be willing to learn and grow and evolve. And Jay, I can't tell if you want to say anything, so jump in at any
I,
point.
I'll jump in whenever. But yeah, you have to be. It's definitely a mindset type of thing, and one of the programs I offer is a habit-based thing where we work on that, where we actually work on that. We work on the fitness aspect, the nutrition aspect, and it's you. I want to say you have to be dedicated because this is a 12-month program, so we get serious with it. And actually, Jenny has been my guinea pig, like, beta testing. So she can tell you, like, what some of the things, not what she's learned, but some of the highlights that she's loved from the program.
Well, and it goes right into what we're talking about. I mean, you know, these things don't happen overnight. I mean, if you have been on some kind of a roller coaster journey, dieting or, trying this plan and that plan, I mean, just like, I don't, what emoji would be good to drop below, Jay? Like a sad face or like a, kind of like it's annoying. Drop something down below because it's like when go and you're real strict and then you lose all this weight and then you go back up and then you gain all this weight. I mean, it's really frustrating and it's not sustainable. And so
Give
the
us a
big thing that go ahead, Jay.
give us a thumbs down if that's you. Like,
There you go. A thumbs down. Yeah,
everything.
the thing that I was going to say, with Jay's program that he, where he goes deeper with you, with me, with us, is it's really just one of the big things I learned, and it goes into this mindset is be willing and okay just to be like 1% better, 1% better than you were yesterday. And I mean, we'll talk about that a little bit more in detail here in a couple minutes, but just remember that it's okay to just be better than you were yesterday. Like that is progress.
Agreed. Totally agree with that.
One of the other things that is really important when it comes to mindset, and I had to learn this, and I didn't even realize that this was something I had to learn, is that hunger is not an emergency. With the way that we live and the amount of things that we have around us and available, hunger does not mean emergency. I know that most recently here in the last couple days, or I'm sorry, the last couple years, if I was hungry, it was like, I have to eat now, I'm hungry. And, as you go through transformations, as you go through learning, as you go through growing, as you go through a program like Jay's, you begin to learn and understand and feel what hunger feels like for your body. And you realize that you can go a little longer. Or maybe what you thought was hunger was really just thirst. I mean, you have to be willing to experiment with this process. You have to be willing to be hungry for a couple hours and realize that you're not going to die. You have to be willing to, overeat and see what it feels. You have to be willing to eat slow and see how it feels. You have to
I'm
be willing to. Go ahead, Jay.
I'm digging a lot of these comments. Like we got a lot of lot of open people who are doing right now, which is amazing. Like, Monique said, your body changes as you grow and you have to adapt. And Carrie said it's a constant, process, which is true. It's not, life is about growth. If you knew everything, if you hit the perfect mark, it's time for you to check out of here. There's nothing else for you to do here. So, um, and yeah, I mean, like going from being a collegiate athlete to sitting at a desk, your body's gonna change. You have to adjust and readjust, and constantly readapt. As we talked about last week, realign to those type of things.
Hmm. So true. It's so true. I mean, I remember, Jay, you remember this real well, when I started being on planes a lot more and I wasn't in and out of my car, running around, being in 10 to 12 offices a day and constantly moving. And then I went to a plane and I was sitting more, on my computer and strategy calls and whatnot. I mean, I started to create a lot of tightness in my glutes and my legs, and it was very uncomfortable. And that was a whole new thing. I was like, well, what is this? I've never had this before. So it was adapting and realizing that, okay, now I have to stretch, or now I have to foam roll, or, go get massages, or whatever it is that, you know, is helps you adapt to that new situation, because I'd be so uncomfortable on the plane. And Jay, you helped me with
Oh, thank you.
that.
All right, so
Yeah.
let's get into this being busy and eating healthy on the go because we've kind of gone a little left, but that's okay. We tend to do that. It's all right. So, yeah, Jen, let's dive in.
All right. So, I mean, we talked about the mindset being like one of the main foundations for you to be able to build upon if you're trying to figure out how to eat healthy and live healthy on the go. The second thing that we wanted to bring is plan ahead. So you're busy, you're on the go, you're moving, you're in and out of airports, you've got clients all day, you're working in an office, you're running around, whatever it is that defines that for you is planning ahead is going to be the key, one of the keys with mindset to success, to be able to create the lifestyle and be able to create the healthy surrounding that you want. And, you know, I've been known for like always packing, or a lot of times packing my lunch and taking my own healthy snacks with me to softball tournaments, because I know that I can control what's going to go in my mouth versus being stuck and having to eat the hot dog at the park that I know is not going to necessarily serve me. I mean, I'm all about meal planning, and I'm all about prep, or looking ahead and seeing where you're going to be. Like when Jay and I go to the airport. Jay, what were you telling me earlier that I always tell you?
Oh my gosh,
We're going to the airport.
totally reels me in with the airport. You for one, stuff at the airport is going to be expensive, and depending on the airport you're at, there may not be anything but like crappy options. So like Jen has it down to a science, depending on when we're leaving, where we're gonna be, what airport we're gonna be at. Well, she travels that much; she almost has them all memorized. But how long we're gonna be on the plane, how long we're gonna be like laid over if we are laid over. And she's like, "Okay, we have an early flight. You can eat now, so you're not hungry when you get on the airport, and we can eat whenever we land." So it's she's done this so much that it's just like second nature. And I mean, when you're not in that environment, you just kind of go, and you're like, oh, I'll figure it out. But if you're trying to be better, you're trying to live healthier, and oh my God, like airport, they don't have anything but crap at airport. Like
They're
honestly,
getting better. Some of the airports are getting better, but generally speaking, you have to know what to look for. But you're hitting it on the head, Jay.
but yeah, I mean, and it's awesome to not be stuck in a situation and like be ready. So usually when we're traveling, we have some more healthier go tos. Now, some instances they might not be the greatest, but they're definitely healthier go tos.
Well, and and here's the thing as well. I think that somewhere in our culture, somewhere, and I can speak to this for me, and I bet you can relate. Is it's like when you get on a plane, there's like this big event, and it was like this all day thing, even if it's only a 2 hour flight, to being like, ooh, I got to make sure I have enough snacks and food for the plane. So we used to like take all these snacks and chips and all this stuff to have available. And what I realized is, I mean, think about certain things that are triggers for you to bring the foods. The movie theater. Oh, I got to have popcorn and a pop, or a candy and a popcorn. There's certain things you may not even be hungry for. And so it's like, realize, I mean, you just take it just in case. Like, we'll take some nuts, or we'll take, some healthier bars or an apple, so that if we do get hungry, we have it. But I mean, rarely am I actually hungry on a plane unless it happens to like fall in a weird hour or weird time. I mean,
What
have you noticed that too, Jay?
what I've gotten better at on the plane is like, you always want the peanuts on the plane, and I've learned from personal experiments that peanuts aren't good for me. They hurt my stomach. So, but you're on a plane, peanuts and pretzels. You're like, yeah, I'll take them just because they're free peanuts and pretzels. But you don't
Right,
have to. You don't
right.
have to.
And that's
So
where planning ahead comes into play, right? It's like, when you plan ahead, you know what to expect and know what's coming, so you can be prepared. Because think about all the times, and I mean, we're talking a lot about airports, but I mean, you can apply this to your life where, things are crazy and you have these certain things around you. So maybe in your place where you work, there's only certain options for you, or maybe you only pass certain places to eat on the way home. So, like, when you don't have a plan and you're like so starving, all you can think about is, oh my God, I got to go get, whatever falls as easiest to you. So it could be like a fast food place, or it could be going to the vending machine, or going to the, you know, break room. I mean, whatever it is, I mean, this all still applies, so it's like, take that and apply it to your situation. Um,
I think a
let's talk about go ahead.
big thing too is like portion control and portion size.
Hmm.
We have this misconception of how big a portion is, and for you guys, like after the show, like I'm gonna post something that shows you how no matter where you are, you'll know what your portion size is, like for you. So after the show,
Hmm.
that'll be on the page, and in the group, if you're a member of the Holistic Healthy group, there's going to be a infographic on how you can pick and combine, your own little go-to meals. Like that'll help when you're on the run, when you're out. So little quick stuff, little freebies for you guys that'll hopefully help, going forward in your day-to-day battle with being healthier.
Carrie's saying a good thing, and I can't read it all on my phone, but basically it's like, when you crave foods based on where we're at or what we're doing, she said she struggles with that often, and, has to be conscious about it to make a smarter choice. I mean, that's where planning ahead can help with those things, or making that decision ahead of time, where it's like, I am not going to get X. I'm not going to eat, you know, I usually, when they come around the pretzels, peanuts on the plane, I just say no thanks, because the minute they put it in front of me, I will eat it. And like Bruce said, sometimes we eat out of boredom, and so
Yeah,
it's like,
that's so
go
true.
ahead.
No, I was just saying that's so true. I totally agree. Just to be doing something like
And that's go
the
go Jay, go Jay.
crunching of chips or hazelnuts or whatever. It's not that you're hungry. It's just that thing to do at the moment.
Hmm. Well, and I mean, I think sometimes there's something bigger underlying there, because it's like, yeah, it's something to do, but like for me, and I'm sure you can come up with your own thing too. It's like, I'm learning how to be okay with doing nothing. So that's sometimes what's underlying for me when I'm bored, is like to step back and say, okay, well, it's okay to be doing nothing right now. I don't have to crunch on something just to be doing something. That's what I've noticed. And I still haven't mastered it, but that's okay.
It's a process. It's progression. It'll happen over time.
So, a couple other plan ahead tips for you. Like, so if you're eating out, or if you have a business lunch, or you're going out with friends, one of the things you can do, and I do this all the time, and I'm all over the country in places I don't know anywhere, is I look at Yelp, or you can pick whatever it is that works for you. Some, you can use Google, you can use TripAdvisor, whatever. And I look ahead and I'll type in healthy restaurants, and then I will look at them, and I'll look at some of the reviews, and I'll look at the menu. So I'll look at the menu and see what kind of things are in there, what the vibe is. So if I start reading the menu and I see like a lot of fried and cheesy and covered in gravy and stuff like that, I immediately jump out of there and go somewhere else and look at a different menu. I am big at looking at menus ahead of time, so that you can really look, choose ahead if you don't have a choice. So, for example, Chili's and Applebee's and places like that are some of my least favorite restaurants on the planet. But sometimes you are stuck going there for a business meal or whatever. And so it's like, okay, how do you pick something, right?
Right.
You can look at the menu, but like a lot of the stuff is kind of crap. Some of them are getting better because the demand is there, but it's really like what Monique said earlier. She's at the airport. I think she was at in the California airport. It's like, um, okay, can I get a salad with some grilled chicken? Can I have the dressing on the side? Asking the waiter questions when you're out to eat, or the waitress questions when you're out
I
to
think
eat.
too, though, like
I'm
when for the looking at the menus ahead of time, it kind of takes away from the sticker shock. Not even a sticker shock, but sometimes when you get to a restaurant, especially if it's a place you've never been, and you look at the menu, it's like, ooh, I want to try this, I want to try that, I want to try this, I want to try that, and it ends up being like a ton of food. When opposed to like looking at the menu ahead of time, you're like, okay, this looks really good, but I'm gonna try this. Like I know for me, I love pork, but pork makes me sleepy. So,
Mhm.
if I'm gonna do pork, it's pork on a special occasion. And I know if I'm doing it, I'm getting ready to go to sleep. So
Mhm.
I know like going somewhere with pork tacos, I can't do it, especially like for lunch. And we're still trying to do something because that's just detrimental too. So that also goes into like knowing your body and knowing what foods work and don't work with you. That also helps too with your pre-planning and like you're going out around.
Monique said, I'm so excited. Thank you, Monique, for dropping this in. She does farm to table Google searches too. I have never thought about doing that, and that is freaking awesome. Like, you just gave me a whole new range of options. I'm so excited. Um, so, there's another tip right there that can help you find those places that'll be able to give you healthier options, because they are all over the place. They're completely available. All right, so another tip about planning ahead is like hotel, if you have to stay in a hotel. Um, Jay, what do we do when we stay in hotels to control everything and have healthier choices?
Well, one of the things we've learned to do is make sure that their refrigerators work and they don't freeze the crap out of all the good stuff that you bought. Um, but calling ahead to the hotel, seeing if they have a refrigerator in the room. And we usually go to the grocery store, something like a Trader Joe's, or if they don't have a Trader Joe's, something equivalent, and we buy like fruits and stuff there to have. So for one, we don't splurge, especially out of town, and we can kind of like choose the stuff that we want to eat. So it's still kind of like being at home, but not being at home. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, especially when I first started traveling, Jen, that was a big challenge. Like being out of town and being out of that element where I felt that I had control. Like you're at home, you have your kitchen, you have your grocery store, you have your things. So when you're out on the road or traveling, it's a little more limited. So you got to be a little more smarter, and that's one of the things I've learned how to do. And like, when she's out working, I can't go to the business dinners. Well, I mean, I could, but it's kind of weird. And depending on where they went, not wanting to spend $75 on a plate. So usually when she has a business dinner or something, I usually get a salad or something that I'm perfectly fine with eating and just being smart about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I mean, I think the part of it too is when, I mean, we're talking a lot about being like out of town vacation travel type things, but this could even be if you are local and you're driving around town. You know, try to think and be creative, because sometimes you can go into the grocery store and find like a nice prepackaged meal. I mean, I was blown away at Trader Joe's. They've got all these great, $4, $5, $6, you know, healthy and healthier and semi-healthy choices that you can pick, grab and go. You can go into Whole Foods and grab some things. There's a lot of hidden things like that where you wouldn't maybe normally think of going into some places.
Monique,
So as you're out,
plug your nose and run away from the cookies.
Yeah, some of them hotels get you where it's like the DoubleTree. You could just smell it walking in, and you're like, oh God. And they're like, here's your cookie, and you're like, no. And they've already put it in your hands, and you're like, dang it. And then you take it back to your room and you eat them, and you never wanted them to begin with. It's bad. Um, but yeah, I mean, the big thing is planning ahead. I mean, we could keep giving tips on these, but these were like the big ones that we wanted to share about planning ahead because it's really just thinking, like what do I have coming up tomorrow? What do I have coming up this week? And then, I did it for softball. We played 5 games back to back, and I had, we played all day. We started at noon and we didn't stop till like 1 a.m. And I had salads and I had apples and I had protein shakes, power shakes, and green shakes, and I had, everything I needed to get me through the day. And I had already picked all of that up. I had some healthy jerky that didn't have any added sugars or nitrates or anything. I mean, it's just planning ahead so that you have those choices. However, if you can't or you're too busy or you're in a situation, here's really where tip number 3 comes into play. Is it's aim for better, not perfect. So if you weren't able to like plan all this out and have everything meal prepped and be able to have all that going, sometimes it happens. You don't have time or you're in a situation where now you have to make that choice. So aim for better, not perfect. So Jay, I know this was something that you really like talking about. So go ahead and jump in and start this off.
For me, aiming for better, not perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you want to eat like going to a grocery store. I mean, that just may be your option, going to a grocery store. So instead of getting the chips or the candy bars or, the chocolate, you could get some kind of nuts or something, or um, some kind of yogurt. So, I mean, you might not have a salad at a grocery store, but there are better options. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not, let's say, perfect or super healthy by all means, but it's better than the alternative. So there are options. And even if you go to your favorite fast food place, I mean, they do have better options than just the greasy burger with cheese and all that gooey stuff. But you just have to be open to it, you know? So in that infographic that's in the group, it explains that too. It gives you actually some options on eating more of, eat some of, and eat less of. So you can see those like physically. You can go to the store and be like, "Ooh, yeah, almonds or whatever. That's better." It actually shows you how to kind of create a meal that your protein, carbs, all from those better. I'm not healthier options, but better options. So you just got to be open to it. You have to have that mindset that you want to do better.
I mean, it's like if you're in a situation where like it's like what do I do? Just think like what is so for example at PDQ, Jay and I like PDQ, and it's very very tempting and exciting to get the 5-piece meal, and really the 5-piece meal is kind of like too much food, so we'll get the 4 or 3-piece meal, and even that is just a better choice. I mean, it may only be 1% better, so sometimes it's only going to be 1% better, and sometimes it's going to be 50, 60, 70% better. And so aim for better, not perfect. Especially you're on the road, you're traveling, you have to stop at a gas station, you're hungry, you're trying to figure out what to get. It's like aim for better, not perfect. Progression, not perfection. Be okay with 1% growth.
Bruce
And
made
it's
a
perfectly
good
fine.
point. Bruce just said, and we also get caught in the mindset that all health food store items are good for us, which is totally not true. Yeah, you gotta condition yourself to read the labels. Yeah, just because it's in a health food store doesn't mean it's good. Like you gotta read those labels. Like they package a lot of crap as well. So you just got to be a little more self aware and be more mindful. It reminded me of a story. I went to like a Whole Food store, and somebody was filling their cart up, and I guess they had the mindset that just because it was whole foods, it was better for them. But still, if you're still eating the same amount, you're going to be in the same predicament that you are in. So it's being mindful of what goes into these things, and just because they say organic on the box doesn't mean that it's organic. You got to read the labels. You got to do a little work. You know,
Hmm.
I'm not a lot of work, but you got to put forth some effort.
Well, and and Carrie said, I like this. See, this all has to do with plan ahead. I research fast food restaurants and choose one or two go to menu items that I could eat in a pinch when traveling or out and about without having to feel super guilty. It's a last resort, of course, but at least I know what I'm up against. So, I mean, it's a plan ahead thing. It's like you have those things in your arsenal. So when you're stressed and you're hitting that moment, it's like changing that go-to. If your go-to is normally a pop and a candy bar, it's like changing that to be something else, because then in those moments you reprogram
Right.
and it helps you make those better decisions.
And a big
Monique.
thing for me too is I really want people to become self-aware now, and I want them to decide it's a decision that they want to make instead of a decision that they have to make later on. Because I've had family members and friends who have, illnesses, like stuff that could be avoided. And so they're going to the doctor, and the doctor is saying, you have, type 2 diabetes, or, you have this illness that could have avoided. Now we have to put you on a restricted diet. So then it's something that you want to do, it's something that you have to. So your whole world is changed because you have to do this now. And it's no longer a thing that you can gradually move into. It's like you got to do this now. This has to happen or you will die.
That's a space that I know I don't want to be in, because I'd rather be the one driving those decisions. However, if you are in that space, I mean, it's do or die, and you're going to have to learn these things pretty quickly. Um, I'll share another story about aim for better, not perfect. This whole concept is, uh, anybody knows me or heard me talk about it. Torchy's Tacos is one of my absolutely favorite places in Texas to eat. And so every time I'm here, I want to go to Torchy's, have some tacos, have some of the queso and the chips. I mean, we end up eating like a million chips. We end up like fighting over the queso because it's so good. And so in the past, I get two tacos, maybe three, and I get the queso and I eat the chips. I would get all of that, and it was a lot. And I was usually like full the rest of the day and stuff. This was the first trip that I have ever been open to getting a salad at Torchy's. And um, yes, I still want the taco and I still like the tortillas, but I was, trying something different. And what was amazing is I still had all the amazing flavors that I really like for Torchy's, and so I still really enjoyed my salad. And it's like aim for better, not perfect. It was just one step better, and now I'm like, now I have a new potential combo. Now I have something else I could eat and try. I mean, it's being open, as Jay said, to trying new things and shifting.
All
So,
right.
Jay, you have anything else? Because we have a question that we needed to answer that we got in earlier this week.
Let's get to that question and recap everything.
Sounds good. Okay, so a question we received earlier this week was organic food. How do you really know if it's organic or what's really in it if you have to order from a restaurant? And the good news is we already started to answer this through the live, is, through those plan ahead searches. You know, there are a lot of places popping up where their menu says it's organic. And I mean, really, you never truly know. It really comes down to trust for that restaurant, trust for the owners, trust for the brands, that what they're advertising is, in fact, what it is. You can always, if you really want to go deep on it, I'd recommend calling the owner or the chef and really asking them, like, where do you get your food? Who do you get it from? And you could do that. But if that's a little too extreme and too much for you, the next best thing is just to, do those searches and start to see, like, there are restaurants that say they have organic stuff, and maybe not everything is organic, but some of it is. And so you'll start to learn, just like if you were a vegan, or if you're a vegetarian, you start to learn where your places are that serves what it is you need. But it does take some research and plugging into communities on Facebook, looking for organic eateries on Facebook, communities that talk about that. So that way it helps you to expand your horizons and find those options.
Sweet.
All right, so we have gone over a ton, which is so crazy. I mean, we could talk about this forever. And, it's really important when you're living healthy on the go, to recap what we talked about. There were three main things, three main building blocks that will help you be successful. It's the mindset, right? What's your end goal? Where are you at in your journey? It's being ready and wanting to make those changes. That's going to be huge. The mindset's the largest piece. The second piece is planning ahead. And when you plan ahead, it makes it so much easier to execute because it's less stress. It frees you up. It's like, I don't know. I feel loosey goosey when I plan ahead because all I have to do is just pick out the thing. When we meal plan, all we have to do is execute and make it. Versus being like, oh my God, it's 7 o'clock. We still don't have dinner, and then you go get pizza, right? We've done that a lot. Um, and then the third one is aim for better, not perfect. Love yourself. Love yourself through the process. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay, if everything's not perfect. If you've been eating really good for 5 days and you mess up on the sixth day, it's okay. It's all right. And it's an experiment. You work with your body. You find out what you like and dislike. So aim for better, not perfect. And that goes with the choices at the store, or the gas station, or wherever you are. Try to find ways to make it just an even better choice for you.
Bruce.
Jay, anything else to add on the recap?
Bruce just said Netflix. Oh no, GMO. Very informative to organic.
Ooh, I'm gonna watch that. Netflix. Oh no, GMO.
Definitely
Awesome.
putting that on the list. Thanks, Bruce.
Yeah, thanks, Bruce. I didn't even see that comment pop up yet. Um, Anything else you want to recap with?
Um, Only other thing, next month, Great Cycle Challenge. We are fighting kids' cancers. We're committed to riding 100 miles in the month of June, and it's going to be very hot here in Florida. There is still time to donate, almost close to our $500 goal. So yes, we're like I'm riding 100 miles and Jenny's riding 100 miles. Monique, thank you for the donation. That was so sweet. I will say that
Oh,
was
thanks, Monique.
you and Jeff. So thank you guys for that. That was awesome. Um, Other than that, I think that's all I have. Sorry, you guys
Yeah,
couldn't
we're
hear me. Next time we do this, I'll make sure everything is working correctly.
yeah. It's a bummer, but we still were able to hear your wisdom, Jay. I mean, it was still really powerful. So thanks for joining today, guys. Next week we've got healthy living part two. So if you thought part one was good, part two is going to be even better. Haha, setting ourselves up for success, Jay. So next week we're going to be talking about why superfoods. This is like a big buzzword right now. Everybody's talking about superfoods, and you hear about it all, and they're all over the place. So we're going to be talking about why superfoods, and we're going to go a little deeper into that. And so definitely post your questions. If there's anything that you want to know more about, please let us know. But we're so grateful that you guys were able to join us. And of course, as always, if you're on the replay, thank you for joining us on the replay. Continue to like, share, and comment. And we love you guys, and thank you for supporting us.
And if you want to nerd out with us a little deeper, join the group.
Yes, it's holistic philosophy. Or, oh no, what is it? Healthy philosophies. We got all
Healthy,
these holla stuff. Healthy philosophies.
healthy philosophies. You guys have a great night. Go Bolts. Go Rockets. Yay!